to discuss more, we're now joined by Mayur Milak, Senior Vice President Research Auto Aviation at Asian Markets Securities, is here with us. Mayur, you've been a very close watcher of the Indian skies for a long time now, decades now. We know based on Jet's experience that it's very difficult to revive a company once it goes into insolvency. How do you see this play out? And who is the biggest beneficiary? InterGlobe Aviation, yes, it has a dominant share in terms of market, but can you break it up for us in terms of the big numbers and the way forward?
I think you're right. We've still been hearing over the last 2 years about the Jet's recovery that has still not happened. And now, it was always known that, Go Air and SpiceJet have bigger balance sheets, a lot of debt. They've been asking to the government for a lot of support. We've been hearing for a long time that aviation fuel needs to come under GST. But I think having said all of that, we are where we are, right? Despite all of this, we've seen Indigo gain significant market share in the last 2 years. They've now come up to 56%. The entire Tata Group now controls about 23-24%. We've seen, so I think, from an Indian Sky point of view, I think what really stands out is that if you are doing it good, you are definitely going to survive. With all these issues with your lessors and with your aircrafts and engines and stuff, you are definitely bound to, fail, then actually come back successfully. Having said that, I think if I really have to look at from a competition point of view, I think definitely good news for the competitors, although I'm sure, the Indian flyers are definitely not feeling good about it, but that's how it is. So you're looking at about 56% share from an Indigo, about 24 with Tata controlled. Go Air has about 8% market share. So yes, clearly up for the grab. While I of course don't say or believe that they just go off the air tomorrow, but I think coming out as a strong candidate will need a lot of things from the promoter as well.
Mayur, hi. I think another angle that people are trying to sort of wrap their heads around is the crux of the matter, which is Pratt & Whitney and them not able to meet their commitment with respect to engines, right? But Pratt & Whitney has had this issue across the board with other airlines as well. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to look at, whether this is an industry-wide phenomena. Is it impacting a lot of airlines? Or is this a problem more peculiar and more specific to Go Air? I mean, is the issue entirely centered around Pratt & Whitney? Because as we know, Go Air, as our colleagues just highlighted, even in their DRHP, they've been making losses for the last, I think, 4 or 5 years.
No, so I think, it's a combination of everything, right? Fuel has not been favorable the last 3 years, right? You had COVID impact on your passenger growth, so that was one thing, right? Your costs are pretty much aligned. Dollars has depreciated rupees depreciated quite significantly. So I think that plays a significant role on all your lessee payments. So I think, there are a lot of factors which have not gone pretty well for the Indian aviation as such. But coming to Pratt & so, the engine problem has been there for quite some time. I think it impacted Indigo as well. But I think for them, looking at the size that they have, it did not matter much. Looking at how it can impact where that is, if 50% of your flights are impacted, then I think it is very difficult for you to really make a case unless they really don't come up with some kind of payment. So clearly, Go Air will need to, really go after Pratt & Whitney and figure that how they can really recover these losses from them if they really need to survive.
What's your target on InterGlobe Aviation? The stock has already run up in the last couple of days. Does it make sense to go ahead and buy?
So I think, we've been bullish on Indigo for quite some time now. We look at about 13,000-14,000 crore of EBITDA in about FY25, giving it a multiple of 9 EBITDA. We're looking at anywhere in excess of 3,000 rupees. I think 3,200 to be precise as a target price on InterGlobe. Having said that, I also acknowledge that, you will have, the promoter selling coming in from time to time. So it will also have some kind of impact on the stock price. But I think clearly from an operational point of view, I think it's a no-brainer. I definitely think it's one of the best places to be into.
Mayur, leave us with a sense of, the unthinkable. I don't think anyone's talking about it, but just in case, and to put on record, even the Go First promoters have just issued a statement that they intend to remain in charge of the airline. They've gone to IBC to seek support and not really to sell off the airline. But a hypothetical question over here. If at all an Interglobe or let's say a listed SpiceJet, just SpiceJet has its own balance sheet issues. If let's say Interglobe even looks at taking over this asset, is it going to be a huge negative? What kind of balance sheet support would be required for the incumbent player to even, take aim at an asset like this? Leave aside the competition, tribunal and the competition commission and all of those aspects that will have to be addressed as well.
No, I don't. Honestly, I don't think Indigo has ever shown interest into, inorganically growing their domestic share. I think they've done a great job organically. Their focus, of course, has now been outside India to really dominate that segment as well. So clearly, I think Air India was up for grab in the domestic. They had made their intentions very clear that they were only looking to pick up the international side of the business. So I don't think they will have any kind of say into what happens with Go First and whether they would really want to look at any kind of assets or any cheaper valuations coming from Go First. I don't think that is really up for the grab. I think they have enough market share in the domestic side. And as a growth strategy, I think the next best thing for them to is really look at the international circuit. Yes.
What about the other players, the Tata Group or Akasa? Would they be interested?
See, look at this industry. It is always better you have your own set of aircrafts and you grow it organically. If for whatever reasons Go Air were to just vanish away, there's a good 8% up for grab. Then it depends, what kind of schedule you have for your aircrafts to really come in. And of course, you can really auction for the routes and you can start making out of it. So I don't really see a need for anybody to really go and pick up those assets. These are assets. These are more liability-driven businesses. Why would you really want to pick up any of those? You can actually go out and do it all yourself. So I don't think anybody will really look to grab the company as such, but definitely you would want to pick up the market share slot, right? So that is definitely something that the other guys will eye for.
All right. I really appreciate you joining us at short notice. This is a developing story and we look forward to chatting with you along the way as it progresses. Thanks very much and you have a good day. And we will stay with the big story in the next 40 minutes.